Hi, Libra. It's good to see you. I hope your day is going really well today. So, we are going to have a look at your next week ahead, the 13th to the 19th. Oh my gosh. And, excuse me, we're going to use these labyrinth cards. They're really cool cards, and I just don't use them very often. So, I thought I'd pull them out here. Now, what we're going to do is use one of the spreads from the actual deck. It's called the Door Knockers Conundrum. Um, and I usually don't use spreads from the decks, but I was like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and do it. So what this is doing, it helps you kind of plan your path forward, which path to take is one better than the other. And it also tells you kind of where to look, like what to take into consideration when making this decision. So let's see what the first energy coming up is. Okay, I want this one. We have the Seven of Pulls. So this is kind of, do you want to kind of get into a little bit of a battle about whatever the situation is? Do you want to ruffle some feathers, or no? Do you want to push forward? Is the situation needing that? And then we have and another seven. The Seven of Cups. Okay. So your two paths here are pushing forward and kind of creating a little bit of a battle with whoever this is that this in or whatever situation this is. Do you want to move forward with that? Or do you want to distract yourself? The Seven of Pots or Seven of Cups is very much about allowing distraction, a lot going on. So, do you want it to kind of fall into the back of your mind for the next week or so, or do you want to face it head on and potentially have it out with someone? So, the next two cards are basically card 3 is the likely outcome of taking this path, and card 4 is the likely outcome of taking this path. So let's have a look at the outcome of potentially starting a fight with someone. Oh, the Dancers, Unity. This is like the Lovers in traditional tarot. That's really interesting. So it's like you can take that step and you can create a little bit of chaos in your life, a little bit of um, issue, but it looks like that might be a good path creating more unity, working out with some things. Maybe you need to have it out with someone so that you can actually work on stuff. And this doesn't mean you have to be forceful or aggressive, but it's showing that taking that, like, kind of deal with it head on approach it does show a little bit of a chaotic energy to it, or an energy of feeling like you're facing a battle. So what is the likely outcome of letting yourself be distracted with a bunch of other stuff? Avoidance, basically. Uh, the Demon. That's a lot of toxicity, a lot of just harsh energy. Things don't change, and they could get worse. Now, the fifth card is focused on what you need to take into consideration while you're making the decision. And we have the 10 of Cups. So, what it's asking you to take into consideration is the emotions of everyone involved, the connection, and this doesn't have to be a romantic situation. It can be really anything, but you want to keep that emotional energy at the forefront when you're deciding what direction to go in, facing it head on or avoidance. So what is better for your situation? And for some of you it will be, doing this because that's just what you can handle right now. Doesn't turn out very good, but some of you will still choose that because that's what in your life is just a better choice for you right now. So we're going to use the treasures from Takashi cards. They give some really lovely messages. And this is also something to take into consideration about the whole situation as you're making the decision. Gentleness. Be gentle with yourself and others. Let go of those harsh judgments. Tread gently upon the earth with a reverence for life. Spend some time surrounded by nature. Feel the gentle flow of growth around and within you. It is not to be forced, but gently nurtured and allowed. Gentleness is a strength. Feel its awesome power. So, really take into consideration that energy, that peaceful energy. And I will say this it's a little chaotic at first, but then it turns into something very beautiful. This one, just because the devil is there doesn't mean it's going to be like this crazy outcome. It's just, that it shows kind of toxic attitudes or, not being able to overcome something that it can also, mean that. So really think about the emotions of the people involved and approach it with that gentleness energy. All right. So I hope that you enjoyed this reading and like, share, subscribe, please. I would love if you would subscribe and we'll see you next time.